Well, today on techgooch, we're looking at this. I don't know if you remember a few years back in 2020, about 2.5 years ago actually, I did a review on the BioBidet BB2000 bidet seat. And I loved that seat. And I continue to love that seat. I actually moved that downstairs because this is kind of a model above, an upgraded BioBidet Discovery DLS seat. This thing has more power. It dries a lot better in all reality. It has powered open seats as well. Even the under seat is actually powered. It has motion detection, so if you walk up to the toilet, the main seat will automatically open for you. There is a lot to love about this thing. So we're going to dive deep into this guy, and I'm going to give you my thoughts over the last few weeks of using it. So welcome back to techgooch, and like I said, we're looking at this bidet seat today. So like I said before, this is the BioBidet Discovery DLS seat. Now BioBidet or Bemis actually did send this off to me to do a review on, so it actually just sensed my motion there because I just closed it. After it shuts for a short amount of time, the motion detection goes back on, and then it will click up as long as you're within the proximity of the sensor. It actually is really a really good sensor. But you do have to be within range of it, otherwise it won't go off. But yeah, Bemis actually sent this over to me. I was really interested in showing another one of their units because I really did love the BB2000 that I purchased. I purchased that myself. It was a great purchase at the time with the whole toilet paper scare and of 2020. And the things that I brought up to them about the BB2000 was, I love it. I wish it had a little bit heavier cleaning cycle, but the drying capability is so-so, right? That was the big thing. That was really my only gripe about it. So I wish I had a little more juice behind the water jets, and I wish that the drying cycle was better. I wish it really did dry rather than just blow a little bit of air from a fan over it. Enter the Discovery DLS. So this is a seat version. They actually make a toilet, a full bidet toilet, Discovery model. This is the seat version that you can add to any existing toilet, as long as it's an elongated bowl, not a round bowl. And this thing pretty much meets all of my requirements of what would make a better seat than my BB2000. The water jet, better, without a doubt. Water heater, much faster than the BB2000. So if you don't like that cold jet of water that you kind of first get and it slowly warms up, this is almost hot right out of the gate. Really good job in that regard. Another thing within that water spigot as well, as soon as you sit down, it'll automatically clean itself, and so you can kind of see it there, and I can zoom in if you want later. It automatically does a cleaning cycle to make sure that what is spraying on you is clean water. It not only it's spraying obviously clean water out of the head, but that clean water is soaking itself and cleaning off the head before it actually does a clean cycle on you. So you are getting fresh clean water every single time, and it's ready before we even start to do a cleaning cycle. Then we come to the drying, and two fronts on that. The drying is substantially better than it was before. It actually sounds closer to a vacuum cleaner in terms of the power that it has, or a hairdryer maybe. It's not quite as powerful as a hairdryer, but it is a lot closer to it than the BB2000 was. And on top of that, the heats up real quick. So depending on what heat setting you have that drying capability set at, it is way faster in heating up and getting you dry. Now, if you want to do the full drying cycle, which is multiple minutes long, that's fine. I typically don't. I typically wait till I get to the point where I'm comfortable with it, and then I go. But it is better than before, when you felt like you were pretty much wet even after the drying cycle was finished, and some people maybe just would grab some toilet paper just to dry yourself off. To be honest, even grabbing toilet paper, especially after the first several times you use the machine, because you're going to have to get used to how it cleans you, grabbing a little bit of toilet paper just to check to see, make sure you're clean, is another good way of doing it. But no matter what, even if it doesn't clean you 100%, getting you wet is going to clean you much better, and you'll have a lot better hygiene because of it. So that is the big things within the actual components itself. Much better clean cycle in all reality. Much better water pressure, faster heat, faster drying, faster heated drying. Everything about this is just ramped up from what I experienced on the BP2000. And then couple that with an automatic sensor knowing that you're near and powered seats, it's a pretty cool seat. So I'm gonna make a scene, right? I'm coming into my bathroom here at maybe at midnight, whatever, and I'm gonna act like I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I'm gonna walk up. That motion sensor is automatically gonna go off, and then once I sit down, it's automatically cleaning the head. I'm not getting wet from it. It's just dribbling down it just to clean off the head, and it only runs a cleaning cycle for like 10 seconds, and then it will stop doing that. So every time you sit down, it does that cleaning cycle. Now it's done. So now it's just me doing my business, whatever I'm gonna do. And then when I'm ready, then I can click one of several buttons. So depending on how you wanna clean, you can do a front wash or you can do a rear wash. And maybe it's not. And I wanna do the remote so you can see it here rather than focusing on me. So obviously we have stop here. That's going to stop any action that the toilet is currently doing. That's what that does. Front wash, feminine wash. If you are using it, you press it, it'll start it up, and then you can press it again to turn on or turn off, oscillating. And that's the same thing with the rear wash. So if you push this, it'll start a rear wash. That's going to be for men or women. And if you press it while it's going, it'll turn oscillating on or off. If you want to stop it, obviously you hit the stop button. Dryer. That's the drying capability. Now there are 3 speeds that this dryer can actually run at. If you push the button to turn it on, you can push it again and push it again to change, to basically ramp up the speed. If you want to go back to the original speed, you push it one more time. Then we have auto. Now the auto button essentially is the use of rear and dryer. You have 90 seconds of washing capability, and then after those 90 seconds, it will automatically start drying for 4 minutes. That is what auto does, but at any time while it's drying, if you feel you're good enough, you can either hit stop or you can literally just stand up and it'll automatically turn off after, I think it's like a few seconds after it notices that you're not sitting down. It doesn't stop automatically because maybe if you're standing up or kind of leaning forward to wipe or something, it doesn't want to stop drying until it feels like you're done drying. But that's what auto does. Then on the back side of the remote, there are more buttons. These are more setting buttons. They put it on the back side because you're not really going to use this on the daily wash or the daily use. This is more adjusting to your liking, right? For instance, on this pad over here, we can choose to move the nozzle forward or backward. Not everybody has their ergonomics in the exact same spot, or how you sit on the seat might vary. So you can adjust the nozzle forward and backward to your liking. Same thing with water pressure on the front or rear wash. You can increase or decrease water pressure by just pushing on this directional pad. Now, the next buttons, we're going to start at the top. Nozzle clean. This one's pretty cool because if you actually push this button, it'll actually manually stick the nozzle out so that you can manually clean it. If you feel like you want to make sure that it's clean regularly, that allows you to do that. It'll actually pop it out automatically. I love that feature. Dynamic stream. This one's unique, and I highly recommend everybody trying it because what it does is it oscillates the water temperature between cold and hot. And it is unique, but it's supposed to help get things off that may not get off unless you use a dynamic stream. So it kind of contracts and then expands your stuff because you're heat and cooling. It's unique. Highly recommend trying it out. Night light is exactly that. Turns the night light on and off. And if you just push and touch, not push and hold, but just push night light, I can turn that light on or off. Now it's only on when the seat is up. When the seat is down, it's no longer on. But at night, it does make it really nice. It kind of glows out of the toilet. It's pretty cool. If you actually push and hold the night light, you can turn the sounds on and off. So the sounds that the toilet makes, you can turn that on and off with pushing and holding out there for 3 seconds. And so if I push, so now the toilet sounds are off. And if I push and hold it again, you hear the one beep, that means they're on. Air temp, water temp, and seat temp are just adjusting the temperature of the dryer, temperature of the water, temperature of the seat itself, because it does have seat heating. And there's going to be different colors. There's going to be blue for cool, there's going to be kind of an amber for middle or medium, and then red for hot, and that's for all three of these. So that's essentially how you use the remote control. And so last buttons on the remote are on the top. So if I flip this over here, has open close lid, open close seat. Now, depending on where the toilet, what it is, so right now I'll hit open close lid, it'll open and close just the lid, right? The seat will stay down. If I hit open close lid again, it's gonna close the lid because, well, that's what it does. Now, if I hit open close seat while everything's down, it's going to open the lid and then it's going to open the seat because the seat's below the lid and it needs the lid open to open. So I'll click that one. And then same thing goes if I hit open close lid now, it's going to drop the seat and then the lid because the seat has to be down for the lid to go down. Very, very smart, very, very useful feature. And obviously it still has that open the lid automatically if I have the motion turned on. You can turn that feature off if you so desire. And that is, I believe, holding, I believe it's nozzle clean and dynamic stream. I'll check on that. Yes, if I push on the remote, if I push these two buttons, nozzle clean, dynamic stream at the same time for 3 seconds, there we go. Now that open lid function for motion is no longer active. It's turned off. So if I was to, I'll give it a second just to kind of reset, but if I was to walk up to the toilet, now it's not going to open automatically. Now, this is a feature that maybe you don't want to have on. In my case, well, I'll show you. So I just turned the feature back on to demonstrate a point. My shower or tub shower is right here. We actually go in this back door because that's away from the shower head. If I go to go in my shower, it opens the toilet. Now, it doesn't, I've kind of learned to deal with it and it's not a big deal because I do love the open and close automatic feature, but that would be a point to maybe I don't want to have that on all the time. I can turn that on and off by pushing and holding those two buttons. And of course, what kind of a review would this be if I didn't use the product in the video? And of course, there we go. Right away, it's cleaning the nozzle for me. And I don't really have to go right now, so I'm not gonna. But that said, this mount here that I have on here, I stuck on with double-sided adhesive. The tape that came with it didn't really work on where I was putting it, so I have my own double-sided tape that I can pull off. It actually doesn't leave the residue behind, and it has worked fantastic. So I have nothing against that, and it puts it right where I had our existing remote from our BB2000. This just gives you quick and easy access. Now, I am going to demonstrate. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit rear just to start the wash cycle up. And I don't know if you're going to be able to hear. Maybe I can take the microphone down. But right now it's going. And if I was to adjust while it's going, I can go on the back here and adjust the nozzle forward or backward to get it exactly where I wanted it. You know, if I felt like it needed to be adjusted. Same thing with water pressure. I could bring it up or I could bring it down if I don't want it to be as crazy powerful. I like to have it pretty powerful to get everything off. So that's just me. Trying not to show skin. Then if I go to the dryer, this is kind of where that 3-stage dryer is pretty cool. So you have the standard drying motion. I can ramp that up, and now it's sounding more like a hair dryer. Then I can go to vacuum quality, and it's just blowing more air at me. And I don't know how well you can hear that, but I'm assuming you can hear that. And then if I kick it down a third time, it's going to ramp it back down to the lower setting. And of course I can hit stop at any time to stop whatever the toilet is doing. It's not, no matter what you're doing, if you hit stop button, sometimes you're running, oh, did it get the command? It takes a couple seconds for it to actually stop or ramp down what it's doing. So that would be, I guess that maybe be a gripe that when I hit stop, I expect it to stop. It doesn't. And that is one of the things that I've noticed between my BB2000 and this Discovery DLS is that if I was to stand up or hit the stop button, it's pretty instantaneous for when it actually triggers on the BB2000. So like if I was to get up while it was drying, it's pretty fast for it to stop on the BB2000. On this, and I will try to demonstrate that even with a towel on. So I'll kick the dryer on. There it goes. And I'll do it so you can hear it. Right, I'll throw it on the maximum. Now I'm gonna stand up. So I'm standing up, it's still going. And now it's finally ramping down. So you can see it took a minute. And that could be maybe something they learned from the BP2000. Maybe it was turning off when people were like sitting up for just a second, just a wipe or something. Because some people do that. It takes a second. So if you don't hit the stop or it doesn't run through its timer cycle, it will take a minute, but just let it go, it will stop. Last item to point out before we finish up, on the side of the toilet there is a power button, so you can actually turn off the power. So like if you were going to go on a trip for a long period of time, I would recommend either unplugging it or turning the power off. That way this can't accidentally trigger. Same thing goes if you were in a home that you liked to having the automatic toilet seat on, open and close, but maybe you have pets and when you go to work, you can turn it off so it can't do the automatic open and close. There's a second button down here. It just says auto on it. It's the smaller of the two buttons. It's literally just the auto clean button, just down on the toilet itself. So you don't have to have the remote handy if you just like to use the auto function. You can not use the remote at all ever, just use auto. And same thing goes, I showed you how the seats open and close with the buttons, but if I was to manually push it, it will trigger automatically. Same thing goes if I have both seats up actually, and I actually just kind of tap the lid, both seats will actually come down. The seat and the lid will close automatically. And I got dust on hair and stuff on this already. It's lovely having Huskies, hair everywhere. But that is the BioBidet, the BioBidet Discovery DLS seat. If you've ever used one of their seats, this is definitely the best seat that I've ever used. Best bidet seat I've ever used. I will say that the one last item that my wife tells me, and this is all going to depend on you. This seat is shaped slightly different than the BB2000 seat. And it is, because the BB2000 actually has a pretty tall backside here, and I think it just kind of ramps up a little different. She finds the BB2000 to be a more comfortable seat than the Discovery DLS. And that's something that I do want to bring up. Personally, I don't feel a huge difference on me, right? Everybody has a different rear end, so when you sit, seats feel different. That's why the seat market is what it is. There's a lot of options out there. However, she does mention that the BB2000 to her is more comfortable than the Discovery DLS. So, BioBidet, if that's something that you want to look into as well, that's just something that I have been told from others. I actually like how this one sits just fine, so it does come down to you. And that's that. That is the Discovery DLS from BioBidet, or Bemis, or by Bemis. Fantastic seat. I love this seat. I really do. Everything I loved about the BioBidet BB2000 is just put on its maximum on this one. And I want to say, Bemis, thank you for allowing me to do this video. And I will have the install video out at the same time as this review, so you can watch both. And I will have links in the description as well as here at the end of the video. So if you're on the market for a BioBidet seat for your elongated bowl toilet, I have a Kohler toilet, and it works just fine. This is the Cadillac, in my opinion. Now, it's not the cheapest in the world, but if you can find a deal on it, hey, great. I'm going to put links at the top of the description as well, where you can take a peek at this seat on Amazon or some other sites as well. So go ahead and check them out, and I'll try to see if I can't find the best deal possible, because if I was to rebuy what I have downstairs, this probably would be the one I'd buy. Again, because I love my BB2000. I really do. Everything about it. But the better water jets and the better drying are the two things that sell this seat. The faster heating time, I do like. I love the fact that it has the manual cleaning mode, real quick and easy to stick that out, and if you ever want to do it. I have manually cleaned my other one as well a couple times, kind of pulling it out. This just makes things easier. And the powered seats are just kind of a cool benefit. And then the toilet bowl glow, the night light, I really do like that. So Thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. If you have any comments or anything, questions on anything, comment below or head over to shoegeek.com or techgooch.com and you can get a hold of me directly. Thank you for watching to the end. We'll catch you back here on another future video review. Like, comment, subscribe. Well done, Bemis. See you soon.